From Cali to Tally, it's time to wake up. WarChant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source, and this is Wake Up War Chant. Now here's WarChant.com's Aslan Hudjavandi and Corey Clark.
Wake up! What up, everybody? We're back. So is it. By it, football.
Is back, folks.
Football is back, Corey. Pull up the Joe Tessitore soundbite. Corey Clark and myself, Aslan Hudjavandi. It's Wake Up War Chant, part of the WarChant.com family. Use the promo code WarChant30 for 30 free days of access to the ultimate Seminole sports source. You also get a pretty nice little discount to Garnet and Gold. It's a new season. Time to get some new threads as well, so check them out. We'll be out there Monday grinding, making observations, creating great content. So if you're not a member, probably not a better time to get involved than now. Corey, you ready for this, man? Football's back, bro. Let's do it.
I am fired up, man. I am fired. Can't you tell from my voice?
Woo.
Oh, boy. Hey-o. Wake up. Yeah. I mean, you got to tell from my voice that I'm fired up about this. There are some interesting storylines, obviously. The thing I'm most interested in is see what practice is like.
Yeah.
With Briles and Clements now on board. Right. If it's still the exact same way that Taggart did it, or if there's been some modifications. That's what I'm looking to see. And I'm not talking about music. I know you are.
Though.
I don't care about the music. I do care about the pace and the activity and how much work they're getting in a finite amount of time. Did you know, it just occurred to me like a week ago, then infinite is the opposite of finite.
Right. Yeah.
Then why isn't it pronounced infinite? Or finite?
Because English is the worst language
you know what I'm saying?
Ever created. It's
finite, and the opposite of finite is infinite. That's ridiculous. It's spelled the exact same way. It should be infinite or finite. Anyway.
Good observation.
I thought it was,
like,
right?
Was that one during the drive? Like,
during one of my drives.
Like,
just my mind's going up. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Because I was thinking about how you spell them. And then, that's the thing I'm most interested in is just see what the pace of practice looks like. Because they did not, we can assess and assume they did not practice well last year. Because on Saturdays we saw the results of those practices during the week. And it didn't seem like they got a lot accomplished during the week. So maybe now things will be different. We will see.
Are you saying that because of the results?
Yes, of course. I have no inside knowledge. We get to watch but 5 periods of practice, and that wasn't really. But I mean, you can take assumption, you can make inferences from how poorly they played on Saturdays that maybe the messages weren't getting across, or they weren't getting enough work in during the week.
They never seemed discouraged, though. They never. Because
I know that.
We had players only meeting. We had a good week of practice after our players only meeting.
I just mean like you are you taking advantage of the finite amount of time you have during a week to get the game plan in, to get people better, and it didn't seem like that was happening much a season ago, obviously. I don't even think that's not controversial to say that. They couldn't have practiced well because they played terribly.
Yeah. Maybe they were just out
or maybe
there.
they're just not very good.
They just couldn't get the stinking Jimbo off of them, Corey, I think. You know? They tried like hell.
You saw the combine, man. All those Florida State guys running around in Indianapolis. All 3 of them.
Well, hey, man, Ole Miss
Two of them might get drafted.
Ole Miss had 7 guys at the combine, so, I mean, if you want to use that as your barometer, then go ahead. Have fun with that.
Again, I don't even want to write. I'm not writing about it. I refuse to write about it. But, again, I brought it up last week. It is remarkable what's happened in 4 years. Because I was there. I was there interviewing 12 different guys.
Stop giving these people fuel, man.
What happened? What do you think happened? I actually talked to a guy at a bar on Saturday night. He came up and asked me what I thought happened. And I said, man, just watch the combine. They went from having it being an NFL pipeline to maybe getting 2 guys drafted this year in the span of 4 years. Like, I was up there 4 years ago, so there's so many guys. And I asked him, like, what do you think happened? And it's hard. It's hard. Jimbo doesn't become he just doesn't overnight become a bad evaluator or a bad player developer. You wouldn't think. But maybe that's what happened. Maybe the guys just stopped getting developed here. I don't know, man. It's bizarre.
Those people can argue about that around their water cooler as they try to prop up the new regime. The new regime is here. Second spring. Yeah, that's what I want. I just want to see how it's going to look. The thing is, to a certain degree, though, I mean, how much different can it look? It's a football practice. Oh, geez, you can't put that on my master's.
I know. That's why I got the coaster. That's why I got
the Midtown office has got to be careful here.
Sorry,
man.
buddy.
By the way, it might be a little warm in here, but I refuse to turn on the AC because I'm going to have to turn on the heater in 10 hours. So And it's not a money thing; it's just the principle of the matter. I'm not turning the AC on just to turn it on.
Buddy.
Make up your mind, Mother Nature. Yeah, I just wonder how much we can really be able to how much of a difference can you really do in a football practice. I mean, if they pipe that music off and I hear Randy Clements yelling a lot and there is not this weird, just, man, week 12, we're going into Boston College and we're still spending a good amount of time working on, like, mesh point handoff. Probably shouldn't be doing that week 12. I mean, there are certain things that I understand you have to keep drilling, but like week 12.
The ball security drills. They hammer that stuff.
Yeah. How about this? Where do you think what's going to look like? Where's David Kelly going to be when we're out there?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Right behind Taggart?
Yeah.
Shouting and struggling? I don't know. That's a good question.
Or Dugans? Yeah. Let's just see how that's going to go in terms of the difference in perhaps tempo, tenor, feel. Mm-hmm. You folks can see it too. They'll have practice open Monday and Wednesday. Enter on the west side of the practice facility, the west side, which is like close to the Pensacola, the old
so
Pensacola
wherever the sun
tunnel.
is, go to the opposite.
That too.
Because the sun is rising in the east.
Correct.
So go to the west where
I
mean, I can't stand that. I can't stand when people give me directions and say, well, you go to the west side of the building. Man, just tell me.
Well, you got
if I'm looking at the front door, is it to the left or the right?
Hey, tug that cord down. It's like next to the microphone a little bit. Keeps popping against it when you're shaking your head.
How about now?
We're going to take a break. We'll be right back after this Wake Up War Chant.
You're listening to Wake Up War Chant, all Noles, every day. Now back to Corey and Aslan.
We're back, Jack. Yeah. All right, we're good. Nice. So, you got to figure out directions, man. Like, Monroe should be your north-south meridian, and then Tennessee, Mayhem, should be your east-west sort of, latitude or whatever. So you should always, wherever you're at, man, you should always just think about, like, where, if I'm looking at a map, like, where would Monroe be running?
Did you know the numbers on a highway correspond whether it's north or south? For the people that don't know, if it's interstate, if it's an odd number, that means you're going north and south. If it's an even number, that means you're going east or west.
I-10, for example.
East-west.
I-95.
You're going up top or down below.
Showing you guys knowledge because we're not going to have a lot of knowledge to share during spring because they've locked us out, Corey, which is good, though, everybody. So this is – when you factor all this stuff in, Corey, new offensive coordinator, easier schedule, no media at practice, no distractions from the media. I mean, that's got to equate to at least 2.5 more wins. 3. I think 3.
For sure. And if they just shut it down completely where we're not allowed to even, like, follow kids on Twitter or talk to them at all, you're probably looking at a perfect season.
So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe we should just kind of step back and let
For the good of the program.
Yeah.
For the good of the program. Even if we're allowed, we should be like, no, we're not going to. We don't want to distract these kids with questions.
Yeah.
Right before practice at 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
But that's fine. And I get it. I mean, it's college football, man. That's what happens.
I'll defend him in this regard. You can't do the same thing, I guess, right? You have to change it. Everything needs to be changed. So, maybe we're a victim of that too. Maybe just like, all right, well, I don't want to talk to them every day then, or I don't want them here every day.
Well, they might not want us to film the knoll drills too. Like that gets out when a kid gets depleted. That's on the internet in half a second, and sometimes and that's one thing I always did agree with Jimbo. Like, I didn't agree with many of his media policies, but he would always talk about the sanctity of a practice field. And you should be able to yell at a player.
I agree.
Or a player should be able to get embarrassed.
Yes.
Without, and I'm not just talking about embarrassed by a coach, but embarrassed like he gets shooken or shaken, or gets worked in a drill, and not have to worry about everybody seeing it on social media and on message boards. I get that. I understand that. And I think what they used to do back in the day is the people that covered the practices knew that. So they knew what was off limits and what you wrote about and what you didn't write about. You didn't write about fights. You didn't write about this or that, or a coach dog cussing a player. But now there's so many different types of people in the media, quote unquote, and at these practices, and so many are just trying to get stuff on YouTube and just video stuff and get hits and clicks. And I'm not saying War Chant is above that necessarily, but we get our money from subscribers, so we don't have to chase clicks. So anyway, I understand it's a different world now. And if you could sit everybody down and say you cannot report this, 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 and this, somebody'd still do it.
Well, I remember I went up to the spokesman after that one practice where I think like 2 fights broke out, and that fight skirmishes. I think Brady Scott and a defensive lineman, threw hands for 5 seconds or whatever. And I remember going up to the spokesman, I'm like, is it all right if I put that out there, or would you rather us not show that. And he's like, well, that's your call. If you think it's important, you can put it out there. And if not, then do whatever you want. And I'm saying, well, that's not a no.
Yeah. And it's a football practice. People are smart enough to know that sometimes that stuff happens in a football practice. Yeah. Now, maybe when your starting offensive tackle gets knocked to the ground by a punch, that's not a great sign.
Yeah, that we didn't. Yeah,
well, no, but I'm saying just in general, when you think about that and what that scene was, who it was involved, and how the season played out after that, that was kind of a telling moment.
Yeah, we sat on it. Everybody sat on that.
Yeah, but I think we talked about it on Headline. I think me and you might have even talked about it.
We mentioned it, but we never put Jawan Williams and
Trey Lawson, right? Trey Lawson was booted.
Yeah.
I think, but right after that, right?
Within 72 hours.
And Jawan Williams turned out to be what we saw last year on a football field. So that's the kind of stuff that I think maybe you don't broadcast necessarily, but just a skirmish with guys throwing helmets. I mean, that stuff happens.
Yeah,
can't make any judgments by something like that. You could make a judgment by your offensive tackle getting decked and falling to the ground.
Well, see, that's the thing too. It's that kind of fine line, and it's going to be weird now because we're not going to be able to have nearly as much stuff to digest. They're going to have practice open on Monday and Wednesday this week. And then moving forward, they're only going to allow the media to observe on Wednesdays.
So, is that true?
Yeah.
Okay. So when are interviews?
So the days where we are not allowed to observe you and I, the media, interviews will be conducted after practice.
So Mondays and Fridays?
Yeah. Wednesday, when there's actually an observation window, we'll interview the players beforehand.
All right.
So, yeah, listen, Willie let us sleep a few days. So I guess I can't go.
I ain't got no issue with that.
Can't go at him for shutting us out completely, but yeah, I mean, people always get on me about stop complaining about the music. I mean, I have a clip of a player who's no longer at Florida State now that was literally during a practice at IMG dancing during instruction, and then fumbled the ball in the midst of the next rep he was on.
Even with those ball security drills they do.
Well, actually, he dropped a
gotcha.
kick, and it was that's why. I'm not some sort of ornery guy. Listen, man, 36 years old, not that old. I'm not telling kids to get off my lawn. Although some kids were running around here the other day, Corey, with a shopping cart from Publix, which is 5 blocks up. And they just ran down the street. They just left it on the corner. And I'm like, hey, y'all going to leave that there? They're like, oh, no, man, we'll get it. So they just ended up ditching it in this empty lot.
Oh, well, at least they didn't leave it right in front of your house.
Freaking kids, man.
I know.
But yeah, no. So there's a cause and effect to some of these sort of things, but we'll see it again as the practice starts off. All right, so let's look at this real quick. This was yeoman's work done by Ira Schafel, looking at players' differences in heights and weights. Obviously, heights really don't change.
That would be something if they did.
That would be kind of cool. James Blackman's up 1 pound.
Good. All right.
It's good.
Let's hope it's a good pound.
Different kind of skin.
Yeah.
Different kind of pound. The 16 ounces that he has at his frame are different than the 16 ounces you were at to it. So I think some of the more substantial ones, which, again, he highlighted for us. Man, Ira's the dude. Trayshawn Harrison is up 11 pounds. 12 pounds, I apologize. 12 pounds from 179 to 191.
Okay.
I mean, that's a good looking kid, 6'2", 191.
Yeah.
But that's like me if I gained 10 pounds of mass.
Yeah, that's solid. It's a solid frame.
But I didn't when we interviewed him the other week. I wasn't like, damn, look at this kid.
Well, you didn't feel his biceps either, like I did. I felt them, and I'm like, man, you been working out, guy?
Terry's up 6 pounds. DeMarcus Adams up 5 pounds, so that's good. Offensive line is probably what people want to know. So Bavion went up 8 pounds.
Big baby.
Dude, Landon Dickerson's now 320. He put on 12 pounds.
That portal put some weight on him.
For real. And then I saw him walking around, and I'm he looks
I know we have to do this.
impressive.
We got to fill time. What are the odds that any of this is really accurate? Do you think they weighed them that day and then said, all right, check, write his name on the roster. He weighs 320. All right, baby, get on up. Big baby, get on up here.
Yeah,
all right, let me take your right away.
I think making it up is even more outlandish.
I don't think they care. I think they're all right, just put 5 pounds on him, put 8 pounds on him, put 6 pounds on him.
But then why do some guys only have 1 or 2? Just so you don't have everybody getting 10 pounds.
Exactly.
Everybody's getting that deer antler spray.
Yeah.
The biggest one, I think, to me that stood out was Mike Arnold putting on 12 pounds. He's a 340 now. I would have figured he'd
probably good. Do you think that's a good 12 pounds?
I wouldn't imagine. I don't know how good of weight you put on from 328 to 340. I don't feel like
that's special. That's where you get.
Is that the one where it turns? It starts turning at that point. It becomes positive weight gain.
He's good weight, yeah.
But he's a guy that I thought might have slendered down. But I mean, again, if that's good weight, if Dickerson stays healthy, Brady Scott's your center. One of these redshirt freshmen, whether it be maybe Christian Meadows actually plays out at tackle. Christian Meadows is actually down to 338 at 6'4". He's the guard. I apologize.
What's Robert Cooper?
Cooper is, man, this is a terrible segment we're doing here. I just can't get too excited, man. Cooper's down at 369 on the roster.
There you go, Coop.
Yeah. So what should I do, Corey? Like, what do I need to do to get excited? I need to be motivated and stuff. But it just, I mean, what could we see that is going to be like, all right, steps in the right direction are underway right now?
Nothing. And I'm not saying don't listen to this show, and I'm certainly not saying don't read War Chant. We will have observations, and we'll make some strong ones, obviously. We'll have great analysis. But at the end of the day, if we say something like James Blackman was awesome, he was sharp, he hit everybody in stride, threw a great ball. Nolan McDonald looked really good. Cam Akers looks like he's got a little more burst and explosiveness. Everybody's going to read or hear everything with a jaundiced eye. I'll believe it in September in Jacksonville. Until then, it's just your words. And your words last year were how everybody should be excited. It's a new day and lethal simplicity, and you're going to score a bunch of points. So until they see it, it's all just words.
But I think there's a certain part of
that's why I'm more interested in the Bryles, just the tempo of practice. Yeah. Because actually commenting on players and whether they look the part or have gotten better. Or now, if a kid goes out and straight up dominates, well, that's one thing.
But Brian Burns went out and straight out dominated, and people give us a hard time for propping him up. Like,
you mean the guy that's going to be like the only guy drafted on the team? Well, I feel like he was an all-ACC, led the nation in QB pressures, just put up a 4.53 at the combine. What, are you going to give us grief about that? It's not like we said that, I don't know, DeKalen Brooks was as good as his dad. Nobody was on here saying that. I think saying Brian Burns and he did. And when you juxtapose the way he plays with the guys in practice he was going up against, well, yeah, he dominated them. It wasn't fun for anyone except him. Yeah. Him and Mark Snyder. They had a good time every practice.
Man, there was that one day at IMG that they just kept throwing guys in front of him. He just kept humiliating them. It was beautiful. You're like, oh, this is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, Snyder started laughing, right? Yeah. And it turns out it was, he was good, and he had a good year. He had a really good year. And he's going to be a top 2-round draft pick maybe. Yeah. 249, by the way.
That's pretty cool, right?
I mean, he couldn't put that weight on when he was at Florida State?
It's Vic Valoria's fault.
No problem. What did he weigh? What was he listed at? You don't have to look it up, but was he like 225? Here, 230?
Here, I'll look it up, man. I got my game notes. I got my game note packed from the final game of the year last year, which was against Florida, which was the first time in 40 years that Florida State ended their season in November.
That's true.
Remember that?
I do. I'll never forget it.
Hey, man, stop it. Stop being negative, Aslan.
I'll never forget it.
Brian Burns last year weighed 235.
So he put on 14 pounds in 2 months. Essentially, 3 months.
But it's Vic Valoria, man. Vic Valoria drinking vodka or whatever,
But so he made himself some money, I would think, in Indianapolis because he also has it on tape. It's not like he's a workout wonder. Mm-hmm. I mean, he did have whatever he had, 25, 26 career sacks. He did lead the nation in QB pressures. I know people roll their eyes at that, but that is a real stat.
They care about that stuff.
And he was in the backfield all the time. And plus, he ran a 4.53 and broad jump 10.9 and did a lot of really explosive things. So he's going to make some money. He made some money this weekend in Indianapolis. I don't know about the other two. Maybe Christmas gets drafted. Let's hope he gets drafted. I can't imagine. Nooney.
He had 22 reps on the bench press, which I think only 6 other defensive linemen did less than that.
For Christmas?
Yeah.
Oh.
But he did get his 40 was a 5.08.
There you go.
And he broad jump 101, which I think is pretty good for a guy his size. Broad jump
10-1, yeah. So, I mean, we'll see. But he doesn't have great film. Nooney is Nooney and ran slow. He ran slower
4.6,
than Brian Burns, like a 4.65 or something. Which, when you're that size and you're supposed to be but I mean, no, that can play. It's not like you can't play in the NFL running a 4.65. It'll just be
But you don't have a lot of job security, though.
You don't, and you don't have a lot of.
Not that he had an option to stay here,
but that doesn't make you real draftable either. Like he could be drafted, but I assume his best chance is probably sticking with a team as a free agent.
He was on the fast track to becoming like Slon's top 10 all-time Knowles. Man,
we're not calling. We're not going with Slon.
I love me some Nooney Clemson 16,
16, the Michigan, Clemson
I love
made
me some
plays.
Watch out for this guy. I
think he had a big game against NC State that year too, up there in Raleigh.
Yes.
House of Horrors.
I'm like, this guy's it, man. Like, look at Jimbo again. Finding some 3-star kid, making him a star.
Finally playing. Well, that was the whole thing. Is like that was a segment on headlines. We're like, "Where's Nooney, Jimbo?"
Yeah.
All spring, all August. You told us how awesome he was. He could not get on the field at all, and then Bowo gets hurt, and all of a sudden Nooney looks like one of the best players in the country.
Yeah.
It didn't turn out that way,
right.
But for that half of 2016, he was as good a receiver as they'd had since Rashad. Yep. He was really good. I don't know what happened. He was just okay. Now last year, it's hard to blame the kid because, again, who put up numbers in that offense? Nobody.
Tamori and Terry.
Besides my man, but he's different, man. Tamori and Terry is that's a next level. That's like comparing.
This is our last year with them, man.
That's like comparing Steve Kerr as a player to Michael Jordan. It ain't happening. Steve Kerr was a fine player. Yeah. Played in the league for a long time, won a lot of championships. He wasn't Tamori and Terry.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
That's gonna be kind of sad. This is our last spring with him.
I don't know. Come on back. T-squared. What's he call himself? Batman
or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Scary Terry.
Scary Terry, there it is.
I don't think he calls himself that. That's one of those ones at Seminoles.com.
I feel like he might have referenced that one time when we interviewed him.
Right.
Like when maybe the Boston College game. It's like, that's why they call me Scary Terry or something.
All right.
It's like, I don't know how many people call you that. It's like Kobe, and I don't know who gave him that nickname, but Kobe giving himself Black Mamba. Yeah. It's like, man, let other people nickname you, man. Yeah. But that's Kobe.
All right, so, 2 days this weekend. Again, it's open to folks for the public if you want to come watch practice. Also, this just came down a few minutes ago. If you're not a member of WarChant.com, again, this is a really good time to do it. You'll get 6 bonus months and a $50 gift code, I think, to Guardian Gold. That is correct.
All right.
If you're a subscriber, this won't apply to you. It's for new subscribers and those who have left and you want to come back. Use the promo code FSU Spring 2019. That's FSU Spring 2019. Use the promo code. 6 bonus months, and then a $50 gift card.
I think if you're a current subscriber, though, and because I think I heard Gene talking about trying to do the same thing we did at the Champions Club last year. We had the meet and greet with the War Chant staff.
Yes.
Again, you and I will probably be in Minneapolis, but won't be there because we'll be at the Final Four. But if we are there, then you're a current subscriber. You get to go up in there.
Yeah.
Get to meet us and greet us. Mm-hmm. How exciting.
Promo ends March 8th.
There you go.
All right. Hurry up and get it on in. All right, man. Like, this is what a bummer of a Monday for you guys, folks. I mean, I wanted to get excited about spring, but
how about we talk about other sports then, guys?
Because I don't really want to talk about other sports. Let's talk about
who
sports.
wants to talk about the
basketball team? Whatever. All right, basketball team played NC State and they won. Corey, what do you think about it?
Baseball team's 10-0. Softball team hadn't lost in the calendar year. I think tennis won on the road at Pitt. Big stuff happening, man. All you want to do is focus on you want to focus on the negative.
I saw on YouTube, I actually broke my rule and saw a comment a week or so ago. Oh, actually, today, will this be for the 5th?
This will be the 4th.
For the 4th. All right, so tomorrow we'll read a review off iTunes. Subscribe, everybody, subscribe. Some guy literally commented on our show, was like, if you don't want to listen to all this basketball bull, fast forward to the 8:37 mark.
I mean, again, that's when we wonder what Leonard Hamilton is fighting. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's just it's crazy. It's craziness. But yeah, that was a good win. Good win. They have actually a really big game Tuesday.
Yeah. What is this all about? I mean, we're pretty much we're sharpieing the win against Wake Forest, and
it wouldn't matter if they beat Virginia Tech. It wouldn't matter what they did against Wake because they'd hold the tiebreaker anyway. So the necessary tiebreaker. So if they beat Virginia Tech on Tuesday, then they get a double bye in the tournament. They're top 4 seed, and they'd get to 12 wins. For I think maybe the second or third time under Hamilton to get 12 wins in the ACC. So and Virginia Tech's good, even though they're missing one of their best players, their point guard. They're still really good. I mean, obviously they beat Duke. And they can shoot it, play defense. Buzz Williams, a really good coach, so that should be a good environment, man. It was a good environment the other Saturday.
It was
like 10,000 people there.
Yeah, no, that is a big deal because you wrote your column on Trent Forrest, and I think not only him but rest, man, get rest right now. And I don't put a big deal on postseason, on conference tournaments. I know some people think that for some teams it's better. That's why I'll never give 11 crap for. Sometimes they'll go out to Greensboro or whatever, and they would just,
Right.
go 1-2 or whatever in pool play and not even make it out there. And people are like, they're not peaking. It's like, whatever, man. Just get out of there. Just get home for the regional and be
It never
ready.
correlates, ever.
Yeah.
Just doesn't correlate.
And I think basketball, to a certain degree, is as well. But I think for them right now, like, just get healthy. Like, get the double bye. Have, like, practically, that will give them almost like an entire week off before they'll actually play in Charlotte, wouldn't it?
Yeah, they would go. Well, it'd go from Saturday to they would have played one game in 12 days.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, and I would say,
And if you even flame out there and you lose in that game,
cares?
exactly.
you're going to be a 5 seed, probably a 4 or 5 seed, even if you don't do anything in the ACC tournament. That's fine, man. Just get healthy. If you got that kid anywhere close to healthy, you got a chance to at least make some noise. But yeah, it was a good win. Forrest played well. I thought MJ Walker played well for finally.
Yeah.
That was good to see. They all knocked down their free throws.
Kamaji had another good game.
Yeah, man, that's I think the center position for Florida State, man. Every game it's like, I know Cabangeli gets most of the love, but every game it's like 24, 12, and 5, like from the center position. Mm-hmm. Nobody does that in basketball anymore. Yeah. But Florida State's blocking shots, starting fast breaks. Cabangeli's really good. I'll have a story on him coming out about his recruitment, which I think is really, really interesting. I haven't written it yet, but trust me on this, Sloan.
Yeah.
It's going to be real interesting.
Nice.
It's going to be one of Sloan's top 5 Clark columns of the year.
All right.
But
will it be one of the 5 most read Clark columns on WarChant.com?
No.
No, they'll read your observations after
of course. Yeah.
fifth day of practice for football.
And I get it. It's what pays the bills, and that's what Florida State made its name on football, man, and we're all hoping they get back there. But in the meantime, having a good basketball and baseball team is pretty cool.
Good diversion.
Yeah, it's a nice little diversion, and they're a fun team to watch because they
win.
Selfless.
And they're good guys.
Yeah.
Remember how I talk about during the season about football? I'm like, I don't care about the week-to-week growth and development. I just want to see – I want to be able to take things away from each game and then make that into like a puzzle, and that's what it's going to look like at the end of the season. Obviously, I don't think there was enough nice little pieces, but like that – the game against NC State on Saturday – I mean, they're stacking wins. I mean, that's what they've won like 10 out of their last 11 games or whatever now, or something.
Yeah,
10
out of 11. Yeah,
you know. But there was a moment I think with like 2 minutes, maybe I think NC State maybe cut it close, and they were pressing him, and then man ran down the field like a seam route, like he was like like 40 yards down the field wide open, like. You should have got an and one on that, but they said it wasn't in the active shot. But,
which was crazy.
Yeah, ridiculous. But like the fact they were able to pull that off, the fact that it's like these 4 guys. It seems like the core is obviously like Cabangeli, Mann, Force, and Kofor. And then one night it'll be like Vassell will be out there closing it down with them. Then one night Nichols closing it down. Or 1 week it's like MJ Walker. Like I just keep thinking. Like when this comes to March, like now we're here. Like when tournament time comes around, they've been in so many different positions, and the whole heads up play that the fact that they had a foul to give late in a game, and they use it in a very good sort of strategic way, paid off. The guy didn't make his and one. I mean, just they're able to do all these things, and crazy things happen in a tournament, but I feel really, really optimistic about what they are and what they can be here in the next few weeks.
It feels like they can beat you in a bunch of they can play a bunch of different styles and win. If it could be a slow down slugfest game like the Notre Dame game, it could be fast paced. They can run with you. They can out depth you. They can shoot. When they start shooting, they're really hard to beat. So again, all that said, the other team might hit 16 threes and they're going to lose. That's March, man. It's basketball. It's as good as Mike Krzyzewski's been, and he's been awesome. There's been like 33 years at Duke where he didn't win it. Like where he left the tournament disappointed. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to win. It's hard to stack up 3-4 wins in the NCAA tournament. But, they got a chance. And then also, I don't know if we're going to do – were we doing a show tomorrow?
Yeah.
We're going to do the observations. Well, we don't want to share it all. We don't want to give away the cow when you get the milk for free or whatever, however that saying is. You don't want to stick your head up a butcher's – remember that from Tommy Boy?
I can get a –
I'd rather take the butcher's word for it.
Yeah. How is Florida an 8 seed?
It makes no sense, man. It makes no sense. And some of them,
Joe Lenardi has them as an 8 seed in Anaheim in the West region in Salt
what's
Lake
he got
City.
FSU?
He's got them as a 5 in San Jose, playing a play-in game. Or they'd get the play-in winner between Arizona State and Utah State. So we get the Hurley guy again.
Oh, there you go, another Hurley. Another Hurley. Just crushed that family this year. But
or is he still there? Actually, no, I don't think the Hurley's there. I think
Bobby Hurley's at ASU. But who knows, man? Joe Lenardi, he literally is throwing stuff against the window.
He gets the teams right, but he doesn't. He usually gets the seed lines right.
He doesn't know locations,
right,
nothing right now is right.
Right.
Because we still got 2 weeks of basketball left. Yeah. So you can't put a lot of stock into these anyway. I can't imagine Florida's an 8.
I can't believe exactly. We're sitting here at this time.
Is Georgia going to make it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if Florida's an 8, that means there's Florida should be like the last 8 out. Like
they should be the play-in. They should be like a 12 seed
if they get in at all. Yeah. But I was going to say, and we'll talk about it a little bit more tomorrow. I know tomorrow will be football heavy, but it's a pretty remarkable senior class that's going to be having their last game on Tuesday night. Or most of which is Terrence Mann. Like that guy, and I'm doing a story on him. You guys will be able to read that on Tuesday about him coming in with Bacon and Beasley and being the other guy.
Yeah.
And then he's going to leave perhaps as the all-time winningest player in Florida State history. He's like 3 wins shy of Luke Laux' record, 3 or 4 wins. It's over 90. And just what he's done here. He's been a program guy. Those are the guys that make programs. Beasley's flashy, but he never even played in a tournament game.
Nope.
The only postseason he saw was the NIT. Bacon played in 2. Terrence Mann's already played in 5, and he's about to go to the tournament for the 3rd straight year. And obviously I'm not saying he's as good as those 2 guys because those 2 guys were pretty special when they were here. But that's how Florida State – those are the guys that build a program like Florida State, the Terrence Manns of the world, that are the glue guys that do everything. They're athletic. Just everything he does. It's just those are the program guys. Trent Forrest is another one. I think the Devin Vassell kid is a guy that will be here for 4 years and will win a lot of games. And they're just winning basketball players. Terrence Mann is a winner because of the way he plays. He can take over a game just like Trent Forrest and take 6 shots. Dwayne Bacon could take over a game, but it'd be 22 shots. So those are the guys that Florida State has done a really good job here lately. And then earlier, the first run around when they made the tournament a lot. In identifying and getting, and not just settling on, because they don't get a lot of 5 stars. You just don't get a lot of them.
Yeah.
Terrence Mann's been a wonderful guy for this program.
It was crazy. I was looking at nolfan.org the other day, just like going through the old rosters for the basketball team. Just remember all the names that I saw, like Diego Romero, Jason Rich, Terrence Shannon. Just all these guys. Just year after year that you're pinning your hopes and dreams on. And then you talk about a guy like Mann who is the other guy in that class, and it's like, well, dude, this guy's been a stalwart. He's been like the linchpin.
Yeah, he's kind of been their leader for the last 2 years. Yeah. And, Kumaje's in that class too. So you think about that class. So that class, it was a 4-player class. It was Bacon, Beasley, Kumaje, and Terrence Mann. That's a all-time great class. Mm-hmm. They followed that up with Cabangeli, Forrest, Angola, P.J. Savoy. I mean, they hit on there's another one in there that I can't think of right now.
MJ or was he
the MJ was a year after. There's somebody else in there that from the whatever that class would have been, the 16 class. Oh, John Isaac.
Oh yeah, forgot about that guy.
So think about that. That's a hit rate of 100%, really, for what you were trying to get out of 9 guys. You knew Kumaje was going to be a project, but here he is as a senior contributing. Bacon and Beasley did exactly what they were supposed to do, except get to the tournament that first year. Terrence Mann has been a 100% hit, and then the next year, John Isaac, Forrest, Angola, Savoy,
C.J. Walker too.
Yeah, I mean he was a good player. That none of these guys were guys that just completely were whiffs. They were in Cabangeli. I mean that's what a remarkable run of recruiting. And then you go back and look at what they did right after they won the ACC championship, where it was a bunch of strikeouts and big strikeouts like
Jarquez Smith.
No, I mean he was okay. No, 12 would have been like
that was Oho, Bojo, Robert Gilchrist, Monte Brandon, Devin Booker, Aaron Thomas.
Yeah, I mean Aaron Thomas was the best player, but he couldn't stay in school, and then Booker was the best after that, and then those other guys were just okay. And so to follow up an ACC championship with that class, and now here we are talking about 2 straight classes where you really went 9 for 9 essentially. Savoy does what Savoy's supposed to do. Now he hasn't been great this year, but he's hit some huge shots in his career at Florida State, which was what he was brought here for. Angola Rodas too. I think he's Angola Rodas again. I can't remember if he went back or forth, but so yeah, that's that they should be commended for that. And then Vassell, they only really had 1 recruit. Vassell and Raquan Gray, people like that, man. They're really hitting it out of the park here lately on the recruiting trail. Do
you think anyone will resent Jaden Lars Woodby for doing the Lars Woodby thing, and they're gonna be like, dude, now my mom wants to know why I don't have her name on the back of my uniform?
That would be funny. What would really be funny is if they all put if it was Tamorian Lars Terry. James Lars Blackman. That would be funny all the way down the line for one game. Hey, that's something I can see this program doing.
All right, let's talk about baseball.
They won.
Or you want to talk about softball? I don't know anything about softball. Sorry. And not to discount what they're doing. They're amazing that they're ranked number 1 in the nation now, if I'm not mistaken.
They are, and they've won, I think, 21 games in a row.
Well, deservingly so.
You should probably check. I think they were in the 7th inning when we started this show, so you might want to check they held on to that league. But, yeah, the baseball team, the most important
You finally got to see it up close in person.
First game I saw in person, Cabell hit one to the moon. Holy crud.
Yeah, they won 2-1 over UCF. Megan King, 10-0 on the year.
And they're 10-0
on the year already.
10-0. Yeah, they're 21-0. They played 21 games. And I think they've won 26 games overall in a row.
Oh, they scored 2 in the 7th inning.
I think on an error.
All right, good.
So, hey, you got to win any way you can.
That's how the baseball team is winning. They're not committing errors.
So, well, that's exactly what I was going to say. So, the most important thing by far to me through these 10 games, because you can't really judge much on hitting our pitching because of the competition. Now, Mercer's a real program. Mm-hmm. They're an NCAA tournament type program. So it was a really impressive sweep for them and what the pitchers did. But also they played 10 games now and committed 2 errors, one by a real full-time position player. That's really, really encouraging because that's the one thing that you can – it doesn't matter who the competition is. You either pick it up or you don't, and they're picking it up. And if you can pitch and play defense with the way that Mike Martin's offense always – can manufacture. Now, this on Sunday it was all home runs, but usually they're going to manufacture runs because they get on base a ton. Man, Florida State's been so bad, or I shouldn't say so bad. They've been so mediocre on defense the last few years.
Right.
For them to look like this is really, really encouraging. And they got I don't know what they're going to do with the Sunday starter. That's still up in the air. But, man, their bullpen is pretty impressive, too. J.C. Flowers comes in throwing 94. Yeah, man. He's got, like, some slide. Like, where's he been? Why wouldn't he pitch in the last 2 years? It was crazy. So on Sunday, he went 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts at the plate.
He had a terrible – his last at-bat was bad.
But then he comes in and just doesn't care. Just 2 weak ground outs and a strikeout. That's ball game. It's like, well, that's good to see. Even if he has a terrible game at the plate, he still comes in and does that. So, yeah, man. So that's the most encouraging thing so far. I don't know what else you really take other than Cabell can hit the ball really far.
I like the fact they're swinging at the ball, man. I mean, they're always going to get on base because of the way Junior does things. But I want to say last year, and I should look this up, but I'm not going to because I don't feel like leaning over and typing it again. I think Cal Raleigh was the only person on the team that batted over 300.
No, Mendoza did, but it was like 308 or something, 312. Yeah, but it's not just batting average; it's slugging. I know. Look at the slugging percentage. That's what. And no, I'm saying last year they didn't do that. They didn't have great sluggers.
Right.
This year they're all. I think Mendoza's slugging like 900. And Cabell's slugging like 650. Those are huge numbers. Yeah. And don't just swing to swing. Punish the baseball. Maybe they're taking their cue from the softball team. Yeah. Those girls go up there and just rip. They swing with violent intent.
Yeah. Clyde Keller said. Yeah.
And then, so on Sunday, Cooper Swanson hit a ball. They measured
That's a nice little revelation, possibly, if he can.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I'd keep this streak up of hitting home runs, but to have him be a reliable bat, that's
and to hit, on Saturday, he hit one 480 feet.
480?
That's what it was measured at, 482. Cabell hit his on Sunday that went 463.
He walked that one off a little bit, too, man.
Well, I would have, too, if I'd hit that. It almost hit that car. There was a car looking for a parking spot, and the car just turned right before it was about to get hit by his home run. I don't know if it went 130 feet over the fence, but he crushed it. Yeah. It was a bomb. And Mendoza's last one was a bomb. These aren't little Dick Hauser home runs. Yeah. These would go out anywhere. And yeah, man, they got some legit power. And they're swinging for it. Cabell's going to strike out a ton. He already has. I think he strikes out every other bat. But he's also getting on base every other bat. More than that. It's crazy. So he basically either gets on base or strikes out. Those are all his outs or strikeouts.
Well, on Sunday, Mendoza was 2 for 4. I think he had 2 strikeouts, 2 bombs.
Yeah, hey, you can live with those results. You can live with those 2 strikeouts. And he made a couple good plays in the field. But Reese Albert's going to be out, Levin said, for a couple of weeks. He's a really good hitter, too. All right. But they expect him to come back in a couple of weeks. But, yeah, you see a lineup that could be pretty good. They got some holes still that they got to figure out. The catcher, I don't know, is ever going to be a great hitter.
I think he will.
But he's a really good catcher. He is a dynamic guy behind the plate. He's awesome. Yeah. He could hit 80. He could hit 0-80, and he would still prove it. He would still be a big time player for this team because of what he does on defense. And then, I don't know if what they're going to do at first, if that kid's going to come out of it or if they're going to try Swanson.
Baldor. Yeah, I think they'll probably try Swanson, I would think.
And I know he's had a nice start. I'm not sold on Flowers as being an everyday position player if they can put Cabell in center. Yeah. But these are all things you'll work out.
Well, if Reese Albert's healthy, I think Reese Albert would be in center field, then Martin's in right field, and Cabell's in left.
Yeah, you're right. You're exactly right. I keep wanting to call him Tommy Martin. It's Ribby Martin.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I just think through 10 games, you got about as with this schedule, not facing great competition, you feel good about where they are because of the way they pick up the ball and the way they pitch, especially out of the bullpen. Those guys, Grady was good, Kwiatkowski.
Kwiatkowski's really – I like him a lot, man.
Haney, I didn't know Haney threw that hard. Now, he gave up their only run on Sunday, but he was throwing 91 from the side.
Yeah.
Really heavy. It's crazy that he gave up 2 back-to-back singles, and that was it. But, man, they got arms. Connor Grady, they got arms coming out of there that I think –
Scalaro did good on Friday night.
Yeah.
He's got a little wicked curve to him. I didn't realize it because I knew he threw pretty soft. But they haven't had Ahern out there since he threw on Saturday against Youngstown, which is crazy because he was throwing mid-90s.
Yeah, he throws the hardest on the team. I don't know if there's something where they're kind of being cautious with him or what. I don't know because you'd have figured they'd have tried to get him some action. So yeah, they got with him and Flowers. You got 2 guys in the bullpen that throw mid-90s. That's not a bad thing to have in college. So yeah, this will probably be the year. They might go undefeated.
Yeah, let's not get carried away, but this is the year.
They need to win on Wednesday just to get to 11-0 on 11's last season, and then lose the next game, so they can say they had an 11-game winning streak to start the season.
Where are we right now? We're.
I think ACC starts next week.
I know, but I'm saying, where are we from 2000? We think 4 away.
Oh, I don't know.
Now?
Look that up, man. Good grief, look that up. I'll talk about.
How about this? I heard a rumor that Brady Clark got intentionally walked.
He did. So obviously I wasn't there. It was in Atlanta. So Shanna, his mother, took him to the tournament, and so they were down 9-3 in this game. They came back. He had a double that ended up being an inside the park home run, but good. It's good stuff. He got to show off the Clark wheels, which is always. I mean, that's to behold that on video. Holy moly! So anyway, they stormed back in the last inning to take a lead, 11-10. Or 10-9, whatever. They're up by a run. Second and third, 1 out, and Brady's coming up. And he's had 2 at-bats, and he's got 2 hits, both on the first pitch. So and he's batting like 8th, though. It's not like he's batting 3rd. He ain't cleanup. Yeah. So so they intentionally walk him. But then it's not. They don't just lob the balls. They just say 4, and he goes to first. And then it kind of paid off for the. What's the most upsetting about it? Number one, it's a 10-year-old baseball game, man. Let my kid hit. You know what I mean? Like, I paid a lot of money.
You got to play to win the game, though, man.
Sure, but it's like, you load the bases so that you must have a lot of confidence that your 10-year-old can find the strike zone because you load the bases where a walk forces in a run. But anyway, so the kid struck out. The next 2 kids struck out, and then the team came back and won the game in the last inning by 1 run. Huh. So it was probably the right play. Yeah. They're probably thinking, okay, well, the Clark kid is at least going to put the ball in play, and that's a run. So they walk him and then the other 2. But still, I don't know, man. I don't feel good. I don't know.
Was Shanna aghast when she texted you this?
No, I think she thought it was kind of normal. Yeah. And I'm like, man, it's 10-year-old, baby. That's not normal. Especially because it wasn't like it was a championship game. Yeah. It was just a pool play game, essentially. And the rest of the tournament was called off anyway because of rain right after their game.
Does he ever have an off season, Brady? I feel like you always got him doing something, man.
Yeah, he finished basketball. As basketball was finishing, they were practicing for baseball. And he used to do acting and dance.
Yeah, whatever happened to that stuff? Is he still doing that?
It's just too much right now. So we told him because he was in Mary Poppins last year and had like a 37-line part. So it was everywhere. It was nuts. It was just the most ridiculous spring in history.
Get you guys a helicopter.
And as crazy as travel baseball dads are, or parents in general, and they're nuts. They're crazy. Yeah. The stage parents, holy moly. That's not a world I don't feel comfortable in it. I don't feel comfortable in it. But we asked him, and he said that he would rather do baseball than act. But then we're going to revisit it next year and see what he wants. We're just like, you can't do, that playing a part. Like, he can still go to the classes, but to actually be in a musical or a performance and have to go to rehearsal twice a week and be on a baseball team, you can't do it, man. It's just impossible. So he chose baseball this time. But we left it up to him, sort of. I mean, he saw the way I was looking at him when we asked the question. Like, buddy.
Well, we'll see, man. I think he might have a WWE future. Turn heel or something.
There you go.
If he does
he loves that.
Yeah,
you're right.
Stuff, the musical stuff, that'll get him
and
good.
He'll have
the
Clark gene, so he's going to be a big, tough guy, right?
Yeah.
He'll be up to 5'9" or 5'10".
He was 13 wins shy of 2,000 entering the season. They're now 10-0.
10-0, so 3 away.
Saturday.
So he could get it this weekend.
Weather permitting.
And that should be the last banner he holds up for a milestone, other than thanks for everything 11. Because they've done it after 17.
In between that, they'll be national champions. Then they'll have thanks for everything.
Yeah, good point. I think they'll do thanks for everything his last home game.
Okay.
And then they'll do the Omaha 2019 national champions, obviously out in Omaha. And then there'll be the parade when he comes back.
Weird thing, though, is his last home game is going to probably be a regional or super regional game. But, those are, you might not win that. So, do you want to do that, an elimination game on a Saturday? Do you want to have him come out with,
I think they would do whatever celebration they do the Sunday of the finale, yeah. And then I think what would happen, which would kind of like Chipper, because I was there for Chipper's last game in Atlanta. It was a playoff game, and they lost. And he was the reason they lost because he threw a ball away that should have been a double play. But anyway, not that I remember that stuff. It was the outfield fly rule game.
Yep.
So his last at bat, when it was obvious they were going to lose, they were down by 4 runs in the last inning, he got a huge applause, and that was our way of thanking him the last time. But they had also done it the last game of the regular season too. But we still got to say bye again.
Nothing's come down on this. I know they were looking at possibly shoehorning North Florida in for Tuesday. They're scheduled to play Wednesday, but they're going to try to get UNF to come here on Tuesday as well.
I think it's just Wednesday.
Yeah, I don't think they were going to be in Pensacola this weekend, North Florida. If they would have got rained out, I think they would have been able to do it, but it probably didn't work out that way. So, yeah, if you want to watch Career Win 2000, if they win on Wednesday and Friday night, it would be for Saturday. So, I mean, if they lose one of those games, let's say they lose a series of Virginia Tech, he could look forward against Florida in Gainesville.
Wouldn't that be something?
Let's do it, man.
Wouldn't it be something just to see them beat Florida?
It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's like
Neaporte had that walk-off.
It's like Florida basketball fans must feel about Florida State. Yeah. Was that their last win? Was the Neaporte walk-off?
Uh-huh.
Didn't they beat? They beat them in the Supers one of those games, right? Drew Carlton threw the 2-hit shutout. Yeah. And then I remember what really bothered me about that was the next day. Holton was a good pitcher that year. He was a freshman.
Yep.
But I remember that night after his team just got 2 hits shut out by Drew Carlton, O'Sullivan being at the press conference. He's like, look, we got the SEC Pitcher of the Year going tomorrow. They got some freshman named Holton. I don't know. Just so dismissive.
Yeah.
And Tyler Holton was an awesome college baseball player, but he only went 4 innings in that game, and then I don't think Florida State scored a run the next 2 games. And it would have been cool if Holton would have had – I just kept wanting to write that story because I know Holton saw that quote. And last year when he was going to be the All-American and Mr. Baseball and all that stuff, and then he got hurt, it would have been cool to be able to write that story. But I'll get to write it when he makes the major leagues.
Get to write awesome stories about the football program. Look for those on warchant.com. He's Corey Maslow. Thanks for listening. We'll catch up with you guys tomorrow.
Warchant.com is the ultimate inside source for FSU football and recruiting. And now you can get in on the action for free for an entire month. Warchant.com is offering a risk-free 30-day trial subscription. Get full access to the #1 website covering the Seminoles just by entering the promo code WARCHANT30. That's WARCHANT30. Sign up and get in on the world's most active FSU message boards. Receive breaking news, stories from our award-winning staff, plus get exclusive interviews and videos. Just enter the promo code WARCHANT30. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source.